Maneva na sema PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there osia dem yopo.
You were talking about, so this is what Yoko says. The former executive secretary of the IMCCOD, Mr. Dennis Aboagye K. Miracles, the former accountant of IMCCOD, Mr. Gerard Apia, and others. So it goes beyond the two of them per Yoko's statement. So please, is also.
So this morning I am saddened by what my brother Sebe has done, and that is where I will start from, because I don't know him to be that, and I will never allow politics to spoil his integrity. I will not, because I know him. You understand? He's also a lawyer of repute. He kept making reference to operating within the laws of the land. I don't know. I was thinking he would cite any illegality that was perpetrated by Yoko, so that at the back of that all of us ran. He could not state one.
I said there is no illegality.
Yes, but you are saying that you will not allow.
Act judiciously.
So where did they not act judiciously? You did not provide that.
It is illegal to prevent the lawyers.
Who said so? Who said the lawyers were prevented? And I was thinking, you see, and these are the propaganda that is in the system that goes to create a very bad image for our institutions. Before Miracles was released, we were told by the NPP that the General Secretary, he issued a statement. Miracles have been kept without anybody knowing, yet he was able to predict that he was with Yoko. How did he get to know that? That's number two. When Miracles came out of Yoko, he himself issued a statement. And I have a statement here. Nowhere in the statement did he say that when he was arrested, Article 14.2 was not complied with. If indeed they did not tell him why he was arrested, he would have stated it in statement. So I don't know why you have to hustle on this. Look, what we are dealing with is a very serious matter. Yes, I agree with the first part of your submission that if we are discussing bill, we must be honest to ourselves as a country. We must take a position so that when anyone is arrested, we know that this is how much it has to be slapped. I wouldn't have a problem if you say 50 million. Two people stand surety. But do not include the justification, the properties. When you do that, how many people have the properties to satisfy that bail condition? Then we know. But in terms of how Yoko operated, they operated within the laws. And if all of us as a country have a problem with bail conditions, let us say so. Not that today you are in power and you feel that it's okay. Tomorrow when you go into opposition, then you come and discuss. Again, we must not make mistake of the fact that the amount of money we are dealing with is humongous. You are talking about 50 million Ghana cedi being a very huge sum. What about the allegation on him that is 55 million? By the way, Miracle did not deny that. Let me tell you why. If you say you were not investigated on 55 million, what was he investigated? Did he tell you in the statement? This child is, he's even annoying a lot of people. Young man, you have been accused of having bolted with this.
That's only an accusation.
Anybody that ends up at Insawam starts with an allegation. That's not the case.
And not anybody that is accused also ends up.
Absolutely. So it depends on which one you are taking. What is your problem, my brother? You understand? And I don't know whether Article 286 was satisfied. You know, public servants and people in various positions, when you are given a position, are you not made to declare your asset? So far, you have been told that assets that are linked to Miracles have been identified by Yoko. And if it is true, I want to find out whether in his asset declaration, on assumption of office as the executive secretary, he declared no asset. You see, one thing is happening, and that is why I take a very serious view of this matter. A lot of the young guys are going into politics not because they want to serve. Say, I take it out. They see it as an avenue to go and loot. And that's my difficulty. Look, the number of people that this administration is pursuing in court, how many of them are above 70 years? We have been clamoring for the youth to be occupying positions. You give the youth positions and the issues that come out of it, you wonder. The national service issue. 2.2 billion is the allegation of money that have been swindled the state. This is 55 million. What about Hanan? Is how much? The National Security Bureau is how much? Money that our mothers and fathers, when they were teaching, when they were nurses, you have been a valuer, you have been a lawyer. Have you ever cited 55 million in your life?
All allegations.
No, I say what is allegation?
All allegations. Oh, you know.
And you come and sit here and what are you talking about? Now let me read a portion of the statement for you to understand that we are not doing allegation business. The man, and by the way, you were referring to Napo, that he has been going to Yoko. It is the same Yoko that you are chastising that gave him that liberty to be visiting. It depends on the levels of the investigation and what they identify. In this case, when Miracle was first invited, you stated it, that he was visiting Yoko. Did they ever arrest him? Why do you think that this time around they said they were arresting him?
Why? Why should you arrest somebody who is readily available?
Which aspect of the law says that when you are investigating somebody on a criminal matter, you cannot put a person behind bars? You know the decision of any institution to be inviting you is out of courtesy.
Go on.
You understand? You know that you and I, Article 14, 1G, it's so clear that on any suspicion, we can be arrested. If as a country we don't believe in that, let's go and expunge it from our constitution. It is not me that is bringing the constitution. So all of us are candidates for jail at any time if the security agencies. That is why you have your lawyers. Now Yoko is saying that following a significant new findings last week related to suspected fraud and theft involving Mr. Denisaba. Are you not scandalized by that?
How can I be scandalized by this? That one person just stands up, makes a statement. You don't have, you see, you need to hear the other party.
The other party came out, he couldn't deny any of this.
Deny which one?
The other party.
Deny which one?
Miracles came out of Yoko. He came out and he could not, all this that you are claiming that you don't even know whose side, he could not deny any of them. That following a significant new findings of fraud and theft, they decided to go for him.
And he said they never asked him this. Read his statement.
And so, this is where we are. Now again, I have seen people talk about even the very big conditions that Miracles was given. And I'm saying that Yoko, in spite of the fact that they give these conditions, together with the police and others, sometimes they bend on some of these conditions and allow people to go. You are a valuer like myself. You know very well that when they say bring two sureties to be justified and the bail condition is 15 million, that property must be valued. Is that the case? To meet the 50 million threshold. I understand it was one property that was used. Which property in your wildest of imagination would have satisfied that 15 million immediately? That is number one. Number two, the bail condition was granted at what do you call it on Monday evening. By Tuesday he was out. Which valuer did the valuation in that record time? And remember that the valuation is supposed to be done by the Land Valuation Board. So at what point did they write to Land Valuation Board to organize themselves to visit the property, take measurement, go back to the office, write a report, and then submit it to Yoko for him to have gotten that? That's not the only thing. Number two, you and I know that to establish ownership of a property, there has to be a search conducted by the Lands Commission or the Land Title Registry. And you and I know very well that the Lands Commission, when you put in a search, it does not take a minimum of 1 month. Yeah, the guy was allowed to move.
What are you saying?
What comes here? So you see now,
so what you are saying,
you people are creating a lot of problems with Miracles. That is why Miracles, when he came out and he ran his mouth small, you see, he has gone into hibernation. Because he knows whatever took place between him and the Yoko. But because those that are making noise in town were not there, they did not know whatever happened there, they are trying to push the young man into a lot of problems. My difficulty is, and here I say it with all the sincerity, is President Akufo-Addo proud of what he has done to this country? Because all the people that have been arrested on corruption charges, they were appointed for Christ's sake by President Akufo-Addo. Remember during the inauguration of his inauguration for the first time, he told us that anybody that wanted to make money, the private sector was your portion and not the public sector. So you that gave all these people opportunities to come and lead us, out of it you have been told that these monies have been dissipated. What sort of due diligence did you do? Or was it the case that the President Kufuor brought them in to be looting us and be making sales to him? You must be scandalized by this.
Why, what?
After all, I was there as a founding, as somebody that saw test conform. We started with what you call commitment without inducement. You knew it. These people, when they wanted to steal from us, they changed. They say commitment will let you inducement. You see the millions that they are taking away. That is where my difficulty is. So you must be the last person. If you don't clean the system, this politics that we are doing, it will crash. It will crash very soon. So now, lifestyle audit alone. Somebody that just finished university, he goes into politics by virtue of his party coming into power. And this is not only exclusive to the NPP. And you see, young ones, you see their life and say, hey, my friend, you are living within a community. They know you for Christ's sake. What is secret in this country? Look at the number of years that Mr. Pratt have been doing politics in this country. If they were looting this country 55 million every year, where would we get to? You must be angry. In your community, when they shout Julo, don't they go after those people? It is the only country when people have stolen from us and we eulogize them. You cannot bring that bravery. No, we are not going to allow that. Either than that, we are destroying the moral fiber of this country. And we will not allow politics to degenerate into an avenue where people go and make money. See the number of bad roads we have in this country. See it for yourself. Everybody takes us for a ride. We go to the World Bank, we go and take a loan to come and deal with our drainage situation or flooding. People just come and then use it anyhow. Interministry, and here, what even, and here, let me pat the executive secretary, the current one at the back, Dr. Gamali. He was the one that commissioned a forensic audit into the activities of the Interministerial Committee on Decentralization. And then when it was identified that some irregularities or malfeasance had happened, he petitioned on top of it. It is out of that Yoko started the investigation that they realized that monies have actually been misapplied. We must be thanking and encouraging those that in various, they have, for instance, have an issue with who is the NCA boss, who is the givers box. We were in this country when the S1 administration, the Ministry of Communication, rot all over. You came to power, they say table manners. People are eating, so they can't talk. No, my goodness. And this must serve as a warning to those that are in this current, that while we are dealing with the past, is to tell you that is the same measure. It's not going to change. So that we make judicious use of the limited resources available to us. It is all of us our money. Okay. It is not one person's money. For you to come and defend them.
Okay. Defending who?
You are defending the person.
Thank you.
Oh, my first lawyer, so which one is guilt? The man was inside there. No, it's allegation.
It's an allegation. They are speaking as if they have stolen money.
Oh, and I'm saying everybody else starts with an allegation.
Thank you, please. We are discussing the issue of the arrest of Miracles Aboagye on suspicion of having committed some offenses. Still suspicion, still under investigation by Yoko. Me?
Well, it's a subject that, again, I would simply say that well, I've heard a lot of noise about Miracle and himself. I think I have not taken interest in that gentleman. I really don't see. I've not taken interest in him. I don't know what he says and all that until this issue, and then I was surprised he was saying that, well, this would not stop him from talking, which meant that the arrest was to gag him. It's unfortunate because he's not even on my radar. He doesn't. What has he said significantly in this country that I would take him even serious as a person. What does he goes out there to say? It is the same old rhetorics, ranting and running around with words without substance. So some of them should check themselves. And they should check themselves, politicians. Some of them, they think so highly of themselves. They are nobodies. Excuse me. Look, I sitting here, I've been in New York more than any of them. In fact, I did not start with Yoko. I started with Serious Fraud Office. Yes, it may not be me personally, but my clients they've all been hounded there. There was one day I went to Tema to represent a client, and the gentleman says, you have to drop your phone. At this moment you are under arrest. We are taking you into the interrogation room. And I said, damn you, what do you think? you know, so I am letting you know, it is not peculiar to politicians. As I'm speaking with you here, I have an Iyoko invitation on my table. We go there all the time. If we have nothing to hide, if we have nothing absolutely to hide, why should I be scared of Iyoko and what Iyoko invites me for? Why must the politician make Iyoko look like has been set up for just them? And it is not true. It is not true at all. They are doing it to many companies. They are investigating many companies. So please, let us not make it look like some people are special and that is why they have been targeted. They have not been targeted. If we want to talk about bail conditions, please, here again, I tell you, there are petty allegations on people who have not been able to meet bail applications conditions, just like what is being given to you politicians, and they are languishing in police cells for more than 1 year now. And so when we want to speak, let us not only come out to speak when a politician is arrested. If we want to address this issue, then let's do it holistically, not when one politician is arrested. Yet many Ghanaians are in there for that same reason. They cannot be the reason why we would talk about this. The many Ghanaians suffering this same issue of bail condition in this country and how they are set, the sureties and what have you, should be the reason why we should talk about bail condition. Not because of 1 or 2 or 3 politicians, privileged people. Please. And then my brother, you were saying that it is just a matter of giving a dog a bad name and hanging it. Who is the dog? And what bad name is being given to the dog? Me sitting here, can you come to me and tell me that you are investigating me for some funds in the public institution? If you chose to be a dog, and if you choose to participate in whatever, and you are being asked to account for it, then what is your issue? And let me tell you something. You see, when it comes to investigation, especially in terms of funds and how they are moved and all that, it can be tricky. It can be tricky for a lot of people. So I will not say that, he is not guilty. There is absolutely nothing for him to answer and then he's being hounded there. No, I won't say that. Be careful. Because, you see, you may sign just a piece of paper. You may just write a memo. right, on a letter, and that could end you up somewhere you don't want to be. Most of the people, what we should be saying and asking for is that when we are taking inexperienced people to serve in government positions, the people themselves, they found it honoring that they have been honored, and of course it's honoring, but it comes with a lot of responsibility, and if you are not cooked for it, you will be cooked. I am repeating it. These young guys who have positions, they should be learning. If you are not cooked for it, you will be cooked. If I should tell you about my experiences in the field of audit, you will keep quiet. You will not be the person to do it. And you will be made to think that what you are doing is just procedure. And you will take the fall for it when the time comes. And most of them, I don't think that Miracle has worked. I don't know him. I don't know him. And I don't think that prior to that position, he has any real experience in terms of administration and how finance work in the public service. In the past, okay, so he has, okay. In the past, I know that people do get some little training of these things before they are handed over these jobs. Yes, it could be MC in the same administration.
Yeah, for a short period.
And MC, I don't know, what experience they had before becoming the MC. That's the thing we should ask. I am not trying to belittle him. I just don't know him. But I'm saying that the things that goes around the administration of these portfolios can sometimes get a bit clumsy, and if you are not careful, you will get yourself in trouble. So the issues are very simple. If it is about his arrest, there is nothing illegal about it. If it is about the bail condition, we have seen many, not even with politicians. There are people who have stolen some few shop money and all that. They are being asked to bring the same 50 million building and sureties and all that. It is there, and they are still in cells. So it is also not. If we want to talk about it, let's do it holistically, and not because of the Miracle Aboagye guy. And nobody is giving anybody a bad name. You took it on yourself, and that's it.
Thank you, Ni. Thank you. Mawina from Dodo says, can a suspect decide for a police when he must be arrested, or where he must be arrested? Why are we complaining about arrest at airport or arrest in church? What we must question is whether the allegations can be proven in court. That's Mawina who sent that. There's this one who says, says bail amount must exceed the alleged amount embezzled, never lower. That's somebody's view. He didn't even add his name to this. Well, that's an interesting view on bail. And I think, okay, there's some, but Mr. Pratt, please go ahead.
Well, I mean, this morning we've been talking about drama and comedy. Well, I've never seen such levels of drama and comedy as was exhibited in the arrest of this particular individual. You know, when the individual was arrested, the party machinery started actually calling on members of the party to rally in his support. And we saw people gather at the offices of the Yoko to go and protest. And somehow we all assumed that it was members of the New Patriotic Party who were not happy with the arrest, the conditions of arrest of one of their members, and had gone there to protest. We only got to know the truth when one smart journalist took a camera to the protesters and started asking questions. And the first person who was interviewed said, well, he was there to protest against the unjustifiable arrest of Raymond Archer. I said, why are you demonstrating about Raymond Archer's arrest? I said, well, because he's our manager. He's our general manager. He's the general manager of Bawumia.
Bawumia team manager.
And that, in spite of the fact that he's a Ga and he is a Mamprusi, he is still demonstrating for Raymond Archer. Listen to his language. So under normal circumstances, a Mamprusi should not be demonstrating for a Ga.
Yeah.
But in this particular case, because he's the team manager of Bawumia, he's come there to demonstrate. Very interesting. Then a second person was interviewed. He said, I saw him, he's an Okada rider. He woke up in the morning, went to Circle to ply his trade. And they came to him and gave him free petrol. I said, take petrol, go to Yoko. If you finish the demonstration, 150 cedis for your pocket. And this guy said on camera that 150 cedis, how he will eat banku and okra soup that day is not easy at all. So the prospect of going home and getting a bowl of banku and okra soup was what took him there. He was asked, but do you know the person who has been arrested? I said, I don't know him. He didn't even know who had been arrested. Then 2 women were also interviewed. 2 women were interviewed. 2 young girls were interviewed. And they said, they don't know the person who has been arrested, though. They don't know the person who has been arrested. That their madam told them to go and demonstrate for the person. And that the person is such an important person that if they demonstrate for him and he's released and he comes, he will give them jobs. Then another person was interviewed and he said, he is a constituency something of the NPP, and that he has been told that after the demonstration, when he goes back to his branch, there will be something nice for him. He didn't even know what that nice thing was. But he had been promised that there will be something nice, some reward, and so on. Master, this throws up many questions. You understand? Clearly, some of the people who masked up there, and it was not a huge number. I don't think that the people who masked up there were up to 100. But it doesn't matter. Let's say even 1,000. Okay? The numbers don't really matter. But this clearly shows that they were not party people. Now, we know that the NPP is not a small party. NPP has members. If you look at those who participate in NPP activities, those who vote in the elections and so on, if NPP is unable to marshal 200 people to go and do something in Accra in defense of their leader who has been arrested, and they have to rent a crowd, that's a huge statement. So where are the genuine NPP members? Why couldn't they be mobilized? Something is wrong. You understand? Something is wrong. So you put that aside. Then I listened to the national organizer of the New Patriotic Party actually speaking on Peace FM on this matter, Nana B. And Nana B says that his only problem is with Yoko, and that all other state investigative bodies have been behaving properly. When the police arrest you, they treat you nicely, they grant you bail, you don't have a problem. When the BNI arrests you, there's no problem. But when Yoko arrests you, every time, anytime, there's a problem. So his problem was with Yoko. What does that mean? Because all of these investigative bodies are public institutions, they are government institutions, their leadership is appointed by government and so on. So actually, how come that only Yoko is misbehaving, assuming that what he's saying is true? How come? You cannot move from what he's saying now to the conclusion that government is deliberately arresting NPP people and threatening them. Because if that were the case, all the institutions should be behaving the same way. So, as far as it's concerned, there must be something particularly wrong with Yoko. What is that which is particularly wrong with Yoko? I don't know. But it's interesting. Then, one of the lawyers for the young man, Miracles, is also interviewed. And he says his problem is that the guy was arrested and kept in custody for close to 48 hours. And that during the period, he was not investigated. Then the same lawyer says that the man, Miracles, was actually put in a vehicle, driven all the way to Latte to go and search his house. Searching his house, was that investigation or not investigation? Very strange. That he was not investigated. And yet he was put in a car and driven to Latte where his house was searched. Then they said he was held incommunicado. Then one of them actually said that, oh, actually, as for feeding, there was no problem with feeding. That he ate what he requested for, and the food was provided by his family. Incommunicado, and he could communicate to his family and ask for the kind of food he wanted to eat and was given to him, and he was still held incommunicado. Very strange. You understand? Very strange. And there are so many other strange things, but because we don't have enough time, I'm cutting things short. Massa, the other claim was that when a stop order is placed on you, you can only be arrested when you are leaving the country, not when you are coming into the country. And that, what happened to this gentleman is a complete violation of the norm and so on. It has never happened before. This is the first time it is happening. And then we go back and check the records, and actually there's a video of Kodotu Mbuafo arriving at the airport and being arrested on a stop order. So clearly, this is not the first time it has happened. It has been happening before. Then there is the issue of bail conditions. Say, what if you grant somebody bail in a sum which is close to the amount of money he's alleged to have embezzled, stolen, whatever? It means that you have already found the person guilty. So we take a few steps back and we look at the bail conditions imposed on Woyome. And it was more than the amount of money he was alleged to have stolen. So again, it is not new. You understand what I'm saying? Again, it is not new at all. And then what else did they say? So many things. I mean, we don't have enough time. Then you look at the bail condition which was imposed on Dr. Kwabena Dufo. You remember? The bail condition which was imposed on Dr. Kwabena Dufo was 60 million Ghana cedis. Dr. Kwabena Dufo, 60 million Ghana cedis was the bail condition which was imposed on him. So you ask yourself, so why all these noises and so on? You can't understand. You see, my brother, let me make this very clear. Fortunately for us, there's a lawyer on the panel. Nobody today or yesterday can describe this young man, Miracles, Aboagye, Dennis, or whatever he's called, as a thief. He's not a thief. No. He is suspected of having committed a crime. The crime has not been proven. He's not been proven to have committed a crime. Under the law, all persons, including suspects, are innocent until proven guilty by a competent court, not by any court, but by a competent court. He has not been tried, he's not been proven guilty, and so on. So we must assume his innocence. Accused persons have rights. Those rights need to be observed. And it includes the rights of Marcus Aboagye. He has certain rights. For example, he has a right to remain silent, he has a right to counsel, and so on. All those are guaranteed under our legal, in a legal framework, and he's entitled to them. You understand? But this suggestion that the Mahama administration deliberately is arresting NPP people and treating them badly in order to make them shut up and so on, there is no basis for that. It has no foundation. Because if that were the case, then when Chumbuafu was arrested, it would then have meant that the Akufo-Addo government also had the same agenda. Then when the bail condition of 60 million was imposed on Dr. Kwabena Dufo, it would have meant that the Akufo-Addo government had the same agenda. You understand? And then we are talking about arrest and so on. And I said, those who seek equity ought to come with clean hands. Watch your hands. Your hands are dripping with blood and filth. You understand? Why? Have we so soon forgotten the arrest of Mr. Chachuchikata in a church? In fact, he was arrested whilst he was kneeling down and praying.
Holding the Bible.
Holding the Bible. That's how they arrested him. Have we so soon forgotten that? Have we forgotten about the arrest of Mr. Victor Salome, the circumstances under which Victor Salome was arrested? And we can go on and on and on and on. Please save us this cacophony drama and theater. Let's deal with the issues. I will be very deeply worried if any Ghanaian is denied his rights. And it includes the rights of NPP members. But this drama, unnecessary drama and theater, creates conditions indeed when people whose rights are being genuinely violated, when they speak, nobody is going to believe them. Because they will see through the drama and the theater. Look, when bail was granted in the sum of 50 million, you should read some of the statements. I read some of the statements in the media. That this condition is impossible to meet. It is draconian and so on. Within 1 or 2 hours, the condition was met. We showed that it was not impossible to meet. My brother here is a lawyer. How are bail conditions determined? Bail conditions are determined such that if the suspect escapes, the sureties can be held responsible to the extent that the damage that the person may have caused and so on can be recovered. If I allow you, tell me.
Not necessarily.
But sometimes a condition for bail. You can't go and steal a goat. Huh? Master, you can't go and steal a goat and commit rape and get the same bail conditions. The nature of the offense itself is a determinant when it comes to granting, certain bail conditions. Yes, sir. So this whole argument, and by lawyers, this argument is made by lawyers, that if the bail conditions is close to the amount which is being investigated and so on, it meant that you've already found the person guilty. It's hogwash. Complete hogwash. And yet we are being told these kinds of stories and so on. Please, do better next time. Do better next time and stop this. Look, the running mate, the vice presidential candidate, Dr. Bawumia's vice presidential candidate, his running mate, has come to tell us that he is under investigation. He has reported to the security agencies over a long period of time. His running mate, not his communication something. So if Matthew Opoku Prempe is under investigation and there's no issue and he's been reporting all the time, he has not been maltreated and so on, how come that Miracles, who in terms of stature and so on, is much more subordinate, is the person that the Muhammad administration want to gag? They don't want to gag Matthew Opoku. And Masa, you are a member of the NPP. You are a lawyer. I'm sure you know the names of many people in your party, leaders, who are facing interrogation and so on, that nobody even knows that they are facing interrogation. You know. So if that is correct, what is this drama and noise? What is it about? People who are much, much higher, much more prominent, much more important than Miracles Aboagye are being investigated. They report to BNI regularly. They report to Yoko regularly and so on. Nobody hears anything, nothing happens. So why this drama? Hey, oh.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. In fact, when I saw those videos, I was praying that you will not see them. Anyway, that concludes our show for today. I want to say a big thank you to you for making time to join us on the Mother of All Talk shows, Alagi and Alagi today. A big thank you to our partner stations across the country. Don't forget, we're live on Pan-African television from our studios here at Abelenkwe. We're live on Radio Gold 90.5 FM. I am Sena Nombo, and of course, my panel today, composed of Comrade Kwesi Pratt, who is General Secretary of the Socialist Movement of Ghana. Kwesi Kwachesebe is a member of the communication team of the New Patriotic Party. He still owes me that story of what Mama Yarega said. You haven't produced the story. Anyway, I will still be expecting it. And of course, Nia Boyanan is a financial analyst, a member of the National Democratic Congress, specifically in Ododo. What's the branch?
That is house.
Oh, great. So, and don't forget.
But we have code name our branches. The
Okay.
branch name itself is Nai Wulomo Palace.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Dedi kama amena PENDREAM TV ase. Na so far so good. Say open online portal e wo Ghana. Ah nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.